sentence you to life in confinement without parole.
That's f***ing horse shit. You do whatever the f*** you want.
Why are they shutting my mic off?
I'm the federal witness of the United States federal government. I demand some goddamn respect, you. All I did was trespass on property.
Ma'am, you gotta create the community that you want to live in.
Bond court is a free service, but it takes several hours of my time every day. Less than 10% of Bond court viewers hit the like button, and less than 1% leave a comment. If you want Bond court to continue to be available on YouTube for free, then please hit the like button and leave a comment on all of my videos.
All right, good morning, everyone. We're on the record. It's May 22nd, 2022 for initial appearances from Osceola County. Let me get appearances for the State Attorney's Office, please.
Evan Schmidt for the state.
And appearance for the Public Defender in Osceola County, please.
Azalea Romero Sanchez.
All right, Ms. Santos, Mr. Schmidt, good morning. We're going to start with Christian Cabrera.
Judge, if we can waive the reading of the charges.
Yes, ma'am.
He will also need a Spanish interpreter.
Yes, ma'am.
Good morning. This is Dalia Romero, Spanish interpreter on the line, not sworn in yet.
All right, Ms. Morel, we're going to have Madam Clerk swear you in right now.
Thank you.
Do you swear to translate from English to Spanish, Spanish to English testimonies given?
Yes, I do. Dalia Romero, state certified Spanish interpreter.
All right, good morning, ma'am. Could you please ask Christian Cabrera to state his full name for the record, please?
Señor Cristian Cabrera, díganos su nombre completo para las actas.
Cristian Cabrera.
Cristian Cabrera.
All right, Mr. Cabrera, we're here on an out-of-county warrant. The charges are not going to be read based on Public Defender's statement.
Señor Cabrera, usted está aquí por una orden de detención fuera de condado y no vamos a leer las acusaciones en actas a petición de la abogada defensor público.
As a result of the issuance of that warrant, probable cause has been determined.
Como resultado de esa orden de detención, yo he hallado que hay causas que respaldan la acusación.
The court is going to appoint the public defender to represent you in this matter.
Se le designa el defensor público para que le represente en este caso.
Your bond will be set at $10,000.
La fianza en su caso es de $10,000.
You are to have no contact with the victim in this case.
No puede tener ningún tipo de contacto con la víctima en este caso.
And no contact with any person under the age of 18.
Y no puede tener ningún contacto con ninguna persona menor de 18 años.
Thank you, sir.
Gracias, señor. Eso es todo.
Oh, yeah, let's do that one now. Last name, Diego de Jesus Maya. Uh-huh. Diego de Jesus Maya.
And Your Honor, he's requesting the Portuguese interpreter.
We're on language line getting one on the horn right now, counsel.
Thank you.
Your Honor, do you still need the Spanish interpreter on the line?
I will call you back, Madam Interpreter.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Is our Portuguese interpreter here? Madam Interpreter, can you hear me? This is Judge Kranek.
Hello?
Mr. and Miss Interpreter, good morning. Can you hear me? I don't have anybody here on my end. Give us a moment, counsel.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. and Miss Interpreter, good morning. Can you hear us?
Good morning, I can hear you.
All right, can you please state your name for the record?
Daniela.
Could you give me your entire name, ma'am?
We're only allowed to give our first name and our ID.
All right. Could you just state your qualifications for the record for me, please?
Portuguese interpreter, ID 357465.
All right, thank you. Madam Clerk's going to swear you in now, okay?
Raise your right hand, please. Do you swear to translate from Portuguese to English, English to Portuguese? Testimony is given.
I swear.
All right, thank you. Could you please ask Mr. De Jesus Maia to state his full name for the record for me?
Senhor Jesus Maia, por favor, pode falar o seu nome completo, por favor.
Diego de Jesus Maia.
All right, Mr. De Jesus Maia, we're here on a uniform charging affidavit for 3 charges, each being a charge of battery. The first charge, battery, domestic violence. The second charge, battery, domestic violence. And the third charge, battery.
Então, são antes daqui 3 acusações, uma de agressão, de violência doméstica, e agressão e violência doméstica.
Court's going to find that there is probable cause for each of those 3 charges.
A corte acha que tem causa provável para as 3 acusações.
Court will appoint the public defender to represent you in this matter.
A gente vai apontar defensor público para te defender nesse caso.
Before we address the conditions of your bond, we do have a witness here. Ma'am, can you hear us?
Yes.
Do you need the services of an interpreter?
No.
Okay. Ma'am, could you please state your name for the record?
Daniela Rodriguez.
All right, Ms. Rodriguez, Madam Clerk's going to swear you in. Can you raise your right hand for me?
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give should be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Mr. Schmidt, any questions for the witness?
Yes, Your Honor.
Go ahead, sir.
Good morning. Can you please state and spell your name for the record?
Yes. It's Danielli. Rodriguez, Rodriguez.
Can you please tell us your relationship to the defendant?
That's my husband.
Are you afraid of the defendant?
No, it was all alcohol problem.
Has anything like this ever happened before?
Not as aggressive.
But it has happened before.
Yes.
When was the last time another incident like this happened?
A year ago.
It was hard to pick up on the mic, but do you believe drugs or alcohol were involved in this incident?
Just alcohol.
Are you willing to call 911 if anything like this or anything more severe occurred in the future?
Yes, but I think it's time for us to, separate to be safe for the children.
Just to clarify, can you please lean in a little closer and speak?
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. It's perfect.
So yes, if I feel any fear, I will call 911.
And can you repeat what you said about the separate residences and children?
Yeah, I think it will be right now. We'll separate, to be safe, and he can take care of this problem.
Do you currently live with the defendant?
Yes, we live in Massachusetts. His flight is supposed to leave tonight because he needs to be for work tomorrow morning. And I was going to leave with the children tomorrow morning.
Do you want contact with the defendant while this case is ongoing?
Yes, I think it's important because we have a child together.
Is there any, besides the incident from last year, is there any history of domestic violence?
No.
It was just this incident and the one?
Yes.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Madam Public Defender, any inquiry of the witness?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, all right. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
The court has reviewed the uniform charging affidavit and has heard your testimony, ma'am. I am concerned with the level of contact between yourself and your husband. The court is going to set a bond as follows. With regard to count 1, battery domestic violence, $2,000. As to count 2, battery domestic violence, $2,000. As to count 1, battery, $1,000. The parties are to have no contact until further order of the court. They're to maintain separate residences. And until further of the court, Mr. De Jesus Maya is not to consume any alcohol.
You had no contact on that, Your Honor?
I did, sir. No contact, separate residences, and no consumption of alcohol.
Your Honor, will you translate that for him?
Please.
Okay, Your Honor, could you repeat, please, the amount for each
I can.
charge, please?
As to charge 1, battery domestic violence, $2,000. Charge 2, battery domestic violence, $2,000. Charge 3, battery, $1,000.
Então, as acusações, então tem a multa de $2.000 de agressão e lesão corporal, multa de violência doméstica, $2.000 e a lesão corporal, mais $2.000. E também tem que ficar em residências separadas, não pode ter contato até autorização da corte.
Thank you.
Judge, would you allow third-party contact in regards to the children?
Mr. Schmidt?
Your Honor, may I ask the victim?
Sure.
Did you hear that over the microphone?
Yes.
How do you feel about third-party contact for the children?
It's okay.
Third-party contact regarding the children, and only the children will be permitted. Anything further, Madam Public Defender?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Madam Interpreter, could you repeat the court's ruling with regard to third-party contact so Mr. De Jesus Maya can understand?
Yes, Your Honor. O contato é feito somente por intermediação de terceiros quanto às crianças, somente quanto às crianças.
All right, thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Madam Public Defender, does anyone else need the services of an interpreter?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much, Madam Interpreter. Have a great day.
You're welcome. Thank you. That's all, Your Honor. Okay.
Carla Castillo?
She bonded.
All right. Court's not going to take any action with regard to Ms. Castillo. Trayvon Crawford?
He bonded.
The court will take no action. Shannon Eady? Ma'am, could you please state your full name for the record?
Shannon Eady.
All right, Ms. Eady, we're here on a uniform charging affidavit on the sole charge of battery. Court finds that there is probable cause for that charge. I am going to appoint the public defender to represent you in this case, ma'am. You'll be given a bond of $1,000 plus compliance with pretrial release. You are not to have any contact with the victim in this case. You are to maintain separate residences, not return to the scene of the offense, and you'll be permitted a one-time return with law enforcement to pick up any of your personal effects. All right, thank you, ma'am.
Judge,
Yes, ma'am.
both of the alleged victim is here in custody as well. I'm not sure if she's wanting to talk in regards to them living with each other.
She's going to be your client, counsel.
We did speak with both of them, and they both request contact.
Your Honor, PTR has spoken with both of them, and they're requesting contact with each other. They do live with each other, and they are married.
Mr. Schmidt?
Your Honor, based on the arrest affidavit and the injuries, the state would maintain separate residences and no contact.
The court's inclined to continue with its original ruling as to separate residences and no contact at this time.
Judge, in regards to the maintain separate house or no contact and maintain separate households, being that they both live in the same household, which one would be able to go back home?
I don't know how I can answer that question, because I don't know who has a lease. I don't know who's allowed to be there. I don't know who has title to the property.
Judge, what my client's saying is that they're married and they're both, they both rent the house or own the house.
Yeah, we both rent the house. Like, there was no, like, this is the first incident. It was never been, like.
Defense would be asking the court to reconsider whether they can have no hostile contact.
Mr. Schmidt, I imagine your position hasn't changed.
Has not changed, Your Honor.
I'm sympathetic to the cause and situation they find themselves in, Madam Public Defender, but the court's not inclined to change its ruling.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Ms. Edie. Robert Fink. Mr. Fink, could you please state your full name for the record?
Robert Joshua Fink.
All right, Mr. Fink, we're here on an County Warrant out of Gilchrist County for a violation of probation. Court's going to find that there is probable cause for that charge. I'm going to provisionally appoint the public defender to represent you, sir. The bond will be stayed at $0. Gilchrist County, because they're not a contiguous county here to Orange or Osceola, has 48 hours to come pick you up, not including weekends or holidays. If you're not picked up by Wednesday, sir, you'll be brought back before a judge, okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Andrew Jacobson?
He refused, Your Honor.
Are you willing to waive his appearance so he can proceed with his initial appearance?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. The court has reviewed the uniform charging affidavit regarding Andrew Thomas Jacobson on the sole charge of petty theft first offense. Court finds that there is probable cause for that charge. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent Mr. Jacobson in this matter. The bond will be set at $250. He's not to return to the Walmart located at 3250 Vineland Road, and he's not to have any contact or communication with Kaylin Ording. Joy Green Edie. Ma'am, can you state your name for the record for me?
Joy Green Edie.
All right, Miss Edie, we're here on a uniform charging affidavit on two charges, one of battery and the other resisting without violence. Court finds that there is probable cause for both of those charges. The court is going to appoint the public defender to represent you. We'll give you a bond of $2,000 is to charge one, $250 is to charge two. You're not to have any contact with the other victim in this case and to maintain separate residences.
And Judge, just for the record purposes, defense would be asking for the previous conditions as to the other co-defendant.
Mr. Schmidt?
Same argument as last, Your Honor.
Court's ruling will remain the same. Alfredo Montez. Sir, could you state your full name for the record?
Alfredo Joel Montes.
All right, Mr. Montez, we're here on a uniform charging affidavit on a sole charge of battery. Court's reviewed that affidavit, finds that there is probable cause for that charge. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. You'll be given a bond of $1,000 plus compliance with the terms of pretrial release. You're to have no contact with the victim in this case, to maintain separate residences, to not return to the residence located at 609 Adrian Park Circle in Kissimmee, Florida, and you can have a one-time return with law enforcement to pick up any of your personal items.
My client is requesting if you would reconsider the bond, being that he is a college student and it's not working at the moment.
Your Honor, for the record, he has no prior arrest.
State? Mr. Schmidt, any position on the matter, sir?
No position, Your Honor.
All right. Court's going to release Mr. Montez on direct PTR.
Your Honor, he does not qualify for non-monetary.
He doesn't. He doesn't, Madam Public Defender. It's the initial appearance information sheet reflects PTR with a bond. I can reduce it to $500.
Judge, would you consider ROR in this case?
No.
Judge,
Court will.
I'm sorry, Judge.
Go ahead, ma'am.
I'd also be asking for no hostile contact, being that it is his little brother and they both live in the residence.
Mr. Schmidt.
Same position as last, Your Honor. No contact in separate residences.
The court's disinclined to agree with the public defender's position as to no hostile contact. I will reduce the bond to $500 with compliance with the terms of pretrial release.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yes, ma'am. Brian Montoya.
PTR has indicated to me that he qualifies for direct PTR, if the court would consider that.
I see that. Thank you, counsel.
Thank you.
Sir, could you state your full name for the record?
Brian Montoya.
All right, Mr. Montoya, we're here on a uniform charging affidavit on a sole charge of petty theft first offense. Court finds that there is probable cause for that charge. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. You will be released on direct PTR. However, I'm going to order that you not return to the Old Navy located at 3256 North John Young Parkway.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Irving Morales.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, sir. Could you state your full name for the record?
Irving Morales.
All right, Mr. Morales, we're here on a uniform charging affidavit on a sole charge of resisting simple obstruction with violence. Court finds that there is probable cause with that charge. I am going to appoint the public defender to represent you. You'll be given a bond of $2,500. The court is not going to take any action on your other case, case number 22MM1033, and I am going to order that you not consume any drugs or alcohol.
Your Honor, my brother is in critical condition in the hospital. I'm asking if I get to see him. He has a collapsed lung.
Sir, if you're able to make bond, you can do that.
Okay, I was. All right, Your Honor. And how much was the bond? Because I'm unemployed and it's really hard for me to.
$2,500, sir.
Can that be reduced, please?
No, sir.
All right,
Not at this time. You can discuss the terms of your bond with the public defender's office to see what they can do to reduce it going forward, but I can't do that today.
Understood, Your Honor. You have a good day.
Thank you, sir.
Judge, is the misdemeanor case in Osceola County?
Yes, I believe that it is. And court's not taking any action on it.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yes, ma'am. Edgar Ortiz. Mr. Ortiz, can you state your full name for the record for me?
It's Edgardo Ortez.
I'm sorry, sir. Mr. Ortez, we're here on a uniform charging affidavit on two charges, one of battery on a law enforcement officer, and the second charge resisting officer with violence. Court finds there is probable cause for both of those charges. The court is going to appoint the public defender to represent you. You'll be given a bond as follows: as to count one, $2,500, count two, $2,500. I have the second one. As to your second case, sir, courts reviewed the uniform charging affidavit as to the sole two charges of burglary of an unoccupied dwelling and loitering and prowling. Court finds that there is probable cause for both of those charges. Court is going to appoint the public defender to represent you. You'll be given a bond as to the first charge for burglary of $5,000 and the second charge of loitering or prowling of $250. You're not to have any contact with the victim in this case, and you are not to return to the address of 2501 Tiger Maple Court. Scott Perry. Thank you, Mr. Ortiz. You can go. Sir, could you state your full name for the record?
Scott William Perry.
All right, Mr. Perry, we're here on a uniform charging affidavit on a sole charge of grand theft auto. Court finds that there is probable cause for that charge. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you, sir, and give you a bond of $1,000.
There's no possibility I can get ROR or PTR?
No, sir, you don't qualify.
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you, sir. Jeffrey Scott Stevens. Sir, good morning. Could you state your full name for the record?
Yeah, it's Jeffrey Scott Stevens.
All right, Mr. Stevens, we're here on a uniform charging affidavit for two charges: aggravated battery, domestic violence, and battery, domestic violence. Court finds that there is probable cause for both of those charges. The court is going to appoint the public defender to represent you. Court is going to give you a bond as to count one, $5,000, count two, $2,000, and you'll comply with pretrial release conditions as well. You are to have no contact with the victim in this case and maintain a separate residence. Juan Joe Juarez, case number 22CF163.
Judge, he refused. I would be willing to waive his appearance and waive the reading of the charges.
Thank you, Madam Public Defender. We're here for the matter of Juan Joe Juarez. Court finds that there was a arrest warrant issued for his arrest. As such, probable cause has already been determined for the sole count. The court is going to appoint the public defender to represent Mr. Juarez. The bond will be set at $7,000. He's not to have any contact with the victim in this case and have no contact with any person under the age of 18. Are my other conditions on that? The ones I just, they're on there? On the one I just signed? Reynaldo Lopez.
Judge, he also refused. I'm willing to waive his appearance.
Thank you, ma'am. I appreciate it. We're here on two matters with Mr. Lopez. The first, the court has reviewed the uniform charging affidavit as to three charges: burglary, armed or become armed and forced entry, grand theft of $20,000 to $100,000, and criminal mischief of $1,000 or more. The court finds that there is probable cause for all three of those charges. The court is going to appoint the public defender to represent Mr. Lopez. As to a bond, the $5,000 is to count one, $2,500 is to count two, $3,000 is to count one, and he's not to return to the seen at 1707 West Vine Street.
And Your Honor, how much was the count 3?
$1,000. $5,000 for count 1, $2,500 for count 2, $1,000 for count 3. As to Mr. Lopez's second action, the court has reviewed the uniform charging affidavit as to the sole charge of carrying a concealed weapon on their person. Court finds that there is probable cause for that charge. The court is going to appoint the public defender to represent Mr. Lopez. The bond will be set at $500. I believe our last case is Michael Martinez. Sir, could you state your full name for the record?
Michael Martinez.
All right, sir. We're here on a arrest warrant on the sole charge of the sale of cannabis. Probable cause has already been determined by the issuance of that arrest warrant. The court is going to appoint the public defender to represent you. The bond will be set at $1,500, and you are not to possess or sell any illicit substances.
Judge, if we can take off the public defender in this case, he does have a private attorney.
Okay, all right. The court will not appoint the public defender based on representations that Mr. Martinez has or will obtain private counsel.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Is there anyone else that I haven't spoken to down there, counsel?
No, Your Honor.
All right, thank you very much. We'll be off the record until we start our Orange County initial appearances. Thank you.
Good morning, Your Honor. This is Rafael Barrera, State Certified Court Interpreter. I have been previously sworn.
All right, thank you very much. We're here on Saturday, May the 21st for our Orange County Jail first appearances and initial appearances. Let me get appearances for the record for the state, please.
Evan Schmidt for the state.
And for the Public Defender's Office?
Noel Barrios on behalf of the public defender.
All right. We're first here on case number 22MM3372, Juan Pablo Soto Mercado.
Your Honor, let me just.
Yes, sir,
Yeah,
go
I'm
ahead.
sorry, Your Honor. But I just want to confirm that he can hear through the headsets, Judge.
Yes.
Your Honor, the interpreter can confirm that the defendant is able to hear through the headsets.
Perfect. Thank you, Mr. Interpreter. Could you ask Mr. Soto Mercado to please state his full name for the record?
Juan Pablo Soto Mercado.
Juan Pablo Soto Mercado.
All right, Mr. Soto Mercado, we're here on an arrest affidavit onto a sole charge of battery. The court is going to find that there is probable cause for that charge. Court is going to appoint the public defender to represent you, sir. The court will provide a bond of $1,000. You're to have no contact with any of the victims in this case. You are not to return to the residence located at 5919 White Egret Lane. You are to maintain a separate residence. You will have a one-time return with law enforcement to pick up any personal effects, sir. All right, thank you.
Your Honor, the defense's request.
Your Honor, the interpreter can confirm defendant is able to hear through the headsets.
Let me call it Mr. Barrios first. We're here on case number 2021 CF 5764, Orlando LaBoy Campos. Can Mr. Campos please state his full name for the record?
Orlando Lavoy Campos.
Orlando Lavoy Campos.
Mr. Barrios?
Yes, Your Honor. The defense is requesting that we waive the formal reading of the charges.
Yes, sir. Court will grant that request. Sir, we're here on an arrest affidavit for 2 counts. Based on the request of the public defender's office, those counts will not be read. The court is going to find probable cause as to both of those counts. The court is going to appoint the public defender to represent you in this matter. You'll be given a bond as to count 1 of $15,000. Count 2 is to $10,000. You're not to have any contact with the victim in this case. You're to maintain separate residences. You are to have no contact with anyone under the age of 18. And you'll be permitted a one-time return to pick up any personal effects.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. We're here on case.
The interpreter can confirm. My apologies, Your Honor.
No, go ahead, sir. Confirm that he can hear us.
He can, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We're here on case number 22CF5798, Jose Luis Colon. Can Mr. Colon please state his full name for the record, please?
Jose Luis Colon.
Jose Luis Colon.
All right, Mr. Colon, we're here on an arrest affidavit for 2 counts. One, driving while under the influence and serious bodily injury to another person. And count 2, a hit and run, failure to stop and remain at a crash involving severe bodily injury. Court is going to find a probable cause as to both of those counts. The public defender will be appointed to represent you in this matter, sir. You'll be given a bond as follows: as to count 1, $5,000, count 2, $7,500, and you are not to consume any drugs or alcohol.
Sí, habla español.
Your Honor, the interpreter can confirm the defendant is able to hear through the headsets.
All right, thank you, sir. We're here in case number 2015 CF4277, Robinson Ramirez. Mr. Ramirez, can you please state your full name for the record?
Okay, mi nombre completo es
My full name is
okay, mi nombre completo es
okay, my
Robinson
full name
Ramirez.
is
Robinson Ramirez.
Robinson Ramirez.
Sorry.
Your Honor, the defense is requesting that we waive the formal reading of the charges.
Request is granted. Sir, we're here on a warrant as to 3 charges. The court will not read those charges based on the request of the public defender's office. The court is going to find that there is probable cause for each of those 3 charges. The court is going to appoint the public defender to represent you. You'll be given a bond as to $5,000 for count 1, $5,000 as to count 2, $5,000 as to count 3. You're to have no contact with the victim in this case, no contact with anyone under the age of 18.
One, he does have an immigration hold as well.
Thank you. I thank you, sir.
Okay.
Mr. Barrios, are you aware if
Okay.
anyone else needs the services of a Spanish interpreter? I believe.
I don't believe so, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, Mr. Interpreter, thank you very much, sir. Have a great rest of the day.
We have
We have one more? Okay, I apologize, Mr. Interpreter. We have one more.
No worries,
person.
Your Honor. I'm hanging on. No problem, Judge.
Carlos Vasquez Ruiz.
Yeah, he's in the felony.
DUI. Traffic.
Hang on, I gotta find him.
Yes, he's traffic.
Sí.
Traffic, I got him.
Sí.
Your Honor, the interpreter can confirm the defendant is able to hear through the headsets.
Thank you, sir. I got him. We're here on case number 22CT2771. Can the accused please state his full name for the record?
Carlos Rigoberto Vázquez Ruiz.
Carlos Rigoberto Vasquez Ruiz.
All right.
Sí.
Yes, yes,
Yes.
yes.
Sir, good morning, or good afternoon, rather. We're here on an arrest affidavit for the sole charge of driving while under the influence. Court is going to find that there is probable cause for that charge. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. Be given a bond of $500. You're not to consume any alcohol.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, thank you, sir. I did appoint the public defender, yes, ma'am. With that, I think we don't have any more interpreters, but if we do, sir, we'll reach out to you. I appreciate you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a good weekend,
Will
Judge.
do, thank you. Barrett Coleman? I have him as a
Your
move
Honor,
up.
he's a refusal.
Okay. Mr. Barrios, do you want to waive his refusal and proceed this morning?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, sir. We're here on case number 22MM273 regarding Barrett Coleman with the sole charge of trespassing. The court has reviewed the arrest affidavit, finds that there is probable cause for that charge. The court is going to appoint the public defender to represent Mr. Coleman, and he'll be given a bond of $500, and he is not to return to the scene located at 1060 Lincoln Terrace.
Your Honor, Cook is also a refusal.
Mr. Cook is also a refusal. Mr. Barrios?
The defense will be waiving their appearance.
Appreciate it. Thank you, sir. We're here in case number, I think it's 22CF5691 on two charges, burglary with assault or battery and possession of cocaine. Court has reviews the arrest affidavit and finds that there is probable cause for that charge. I am going to appoint the public defender to represent Mr. Cook in this matter. As to bonds, he'll be given a bond of $10,000 for count one. $1,000 is to count two. He's not to return to the scene located at 8269 Clarkona Ocoee Road, and he's not to have any contact with the victims or witnesses in this case. I am not taking any action on his other matter, case number 22CF4076.
22CF40 what?
It's 4076.
Thank you, Your Honor.
It was transferred. So it was 22MM3189, and it was transferred to, I think, 2022CF4076. Sean Dwayne Thomas?
Yes, sir.
All right, sir, we're here on case number 22CF4942. Could you please state your full name for the record for me?
Sean Dwayne Thomas Jr.
All right, Mr. Thomas, we're here on an arrest affidavit, well, we're here on a couple of matters, sir. First is a warrant for your arrest for 5 different charges. Charge 1, aggravated battery with a deadly weapon. Charge 2, aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. Charge 3, battery domestic violence. Charge 4, violation of pretrial release regarding dating violence. And charge 5, violation of pretrial release regarding dating violence. Court finds that there is probable cause for those charges by a result of the issuance of the warrant. I am going to appoint the public defender to represent you. I do see that we have a witness here. Before we address any of the terms of bond or conditions of his release, ma'am, the court would like to hear from you. Could you please state your name for the record for me?
My name is Chevelle Armstrong.
I'm sorry, ma'am, could you say your last name again?
Armstrong.
All right, Miss Armstrong, could you raise your right hand, and Madam Clerk's going to swear you in, okay?
Do you solemnly swear, solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, but nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Mr. Schmidt, do you have any questions for the witness?
Yes, Your Honor.
You may proceed, sir.
Once again, can you just please state your name?
Chevelle Armstrong.
Do you desire any contact with the
Yes,
defendant?
I do.
Do you desire any hostile, like, do you not want any hostile contact, or?
It was never hostile contact. All of the statements that the charges that they have on him right now are all false allegations. It's just dealing with my family. They keep calling the police. I just burned him out last month, and now like here we go again. So he don't harm me. I'm not threatened by him or anything.
Do you have any children in common?
No.
Your Honor says no further questions.
Mr. Barrios, do you have any questions for the witness?
Ms. Armstrong, does Mr. Thomas have any possessions? Oh, excuse me. Does Mr. Thomas reside with you?
Yes.
And does he have any personal belongings at your residence?
Yes.
No further questions, Your Honor.
All right. Ma'am, thank you. The court has reviewed the affidavit for the arrest warrant, which provides the facts as they are right now for this case. And I am concerned, especially in light of the allegations in this arrest affidavit, specifically the punching to your face and the use of a box cutter or the threatened use of a box cutter against you. So I understand you'd like to have contact with him at this time. The court's not inclined to do that, especially in light of the other pretrial orders in the other cases, case number 22CF4151 and case number 22CF4117, both of which you are the victim in, and both of which those cases prohibit him to contact you. So at this point in time, I'm not going to permit any contact. For the purposes of a bond, the bond will be given as follows: is to count one, $10,000, count two, $10,000, count three, $5,000, count four, $1,000, count five, $1,000. You are not to return to the scene or the address located at 200 North Ivy Lane. You are not to have any contact with the victim in this case. And you are to maintain separate residences. With regard to case number 22CF4151 and case number 22CF4117, the court is going to revoke both bonds in those cases. And to the extent I did not say so, the public defender will be appointed. Thank you, ma'am.
Your bond was revoked for these two, and he said bond for the orange. No, not until the other two.
Case number 2022 MM3348, Glendora Chinook. I'm sorry if I'm saying your last name wrong.
It's good.
I'm sorry, say again?
Glendora Chinook.
Chinook? All right, thank you. Ma'am, could you just state your name for the record for me?
Glendora Lynn Chinook.
All right, Ms. Chinook, we're here on an arrest affidavit for a sole charge of battery. The court has reviewed that arrest affidavit, finds that there is probable cause for that charge. I am going to appoint the public defender to represent you, but before we address the terms of any of your release or bonds, I see that we have a witness here. Ma'am, could you state your name for the record for me?
Kathleen Jackson, Kathleen Anisha Jackson.
All right, Ms. Jackson, could you raise your right hand for me, and Madam Clerk's going to swear you in, okay?
Solemnly swear affirm the testimony you give be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Mr. Schmidt, do you have any questions for the witness, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
You may proceed.
Can you please state and spell your name for the record?
Kathlleen. Do I need the middle name too?
No, just first and last.
Jackson, Jackson, Kathleen Jackson.
I'm sorry, can you just speak up a little louder into the mic?
Kathleen, Kathleen, last name Jackson, Jackson.
Can you please tell us your relationship to the defendant?
She's my biological sister.
Are you afraid of the defendant?
No,
Has anything like this happened before?
no.
Do you believe drugs or alcohol were involved in this?
Alcohol.
I'm sorry, can you please say that again?
Alcohol?
And was that just alcohol?
Yeah.
Are you willing to call 911 if anything like this or anything more severe occurs in the future?
Yeah.
Do you live with the defendant?
No. We're staying together in a hotel though. We're not from here, but our permanent residents are in 2 different cities.
So you're currently staying with the defendant, but you live separately?
Yeah.
Do you want to have contact with the defendant while this case is pending?
Yes.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Mr. Barrios, any questions, sir?
Nothing further from the defense.
State, do you wish to be heard with regard to any conditions of release?
Not this time, Your Honor.
Your Honor, we did qualify Ms. Chunuk for straight pretrial release.
I do see that. Thank you. Mr. Barrios?
That's what I was going to ask to confirm if she does qualify for pretrial release. Perhaps a no hostile contact order between both of them, but seeing the.
I wanted to change, I asked them if I could have contact with her.
Oh, yes, that's what I'm asking. Hostile contact between- Oh, no, it's all good. Given the fact that they both reside in different cities, I don't believe that the no contact order would be necessary to protect the interests of the victim.
The court has reviewed the arrest affidavit and heard the testimony of the victim in this case. The court is inclined to agree to provide no hostile contact between the parties. You'll be released, ma'am, on direct pretrial release, but I am going to order no consumption of alcohol. All right?
I don't mind with that.
All right, thank you very much.
And are we able,
Ask Mr. Barrios, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. We're now on case number 2022CF5750, Isaiah Anthony. Sir, could you state your full name for the record, please?
Isaiah Anthony.
All right, Mr. Anthony, we're here on a warrant for your arrest of KPS for 2 charges. First charge, burglary of an unauthorized emergency vehicle, and the second charge, grand theft of a firearm. Court's going to find that there is probable cause for both of those charges by issuance of the warrant in this case. The court is going to appoint the public defender to represent you. I am going to appoint the public defender. You'll be given a bond, sir, of $2,500 is to count 1, $1,000 is to count 2. You're to have no contact with the victim or any of the witnesses in this case, and you're not to possess any weapons or firearms. Thank you, sir. Mr. Beatty? Yes, ma'am.
He's bonded.
He bonded?
Yes.
Okay. I have,
Brigham bonded also.
wait, who bonded? Mr. Beatty?
Yes.
Okay.
And Brigham.
All right, so the court's not going to take any action regarding case number 2020 MM3369 and case number 2020 CF5714 as Mr. Beatty is bonded. And who was the other one who bonded?
Brigham bonded too.
Okay, court's not going to take any action, case number 2022 CF5788, Glenn Scott Brigham, as he has bonded as well. All right. Sir, come on up, and could you state your full name for the record for me?
Marcus Lee Casita.
All right, Mr. Casita, we're here on two matters. Give me a second here. No, just one. All right, sir, we're here on case number 2022 CF5775 on, it is 2, you're correct. First case number, sir, is case number 2022 CF5773 for 2 charges, sir. The first is destruction of evidence, and the second is resisting officer without violence. The court is going to find probable cause as to counts 1 and 2. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you, sir. You'll be given a bond as to count 1 of $1,000 and a bond as to count 2 of $500. Sir, as to your second case, case number 2022 CF 5775, the court is going to find that there is two charges. The first charge, sir, is grand theft of a third degree of a motor vehicle, and second is the possession of methamphetamine. Court is going to find that there is probable cause for both of those charges. I am going to appoint the public defender to represent you. You'll be given a bond as follows: is to count one, $1,000, count two, $150. As to your bond in case number 2022 CF 3643, court's going to revoke that bond and order you not to consume any alcohol or illegal substances. No, only on, I'm sorry, only on the second one.
Stephanie Darcy.
Ma'am, good morning. Could you state your name for the record for me?
Stephanie Darcy.
All right, Ms. Dorcease, we're here on case number 2022 CF 5704 on two charges. Mr. Barrios?
Yes, Your Honor. The defense waives the formal reading of the charges.
Yes, sir. Ma'am, there's been a warrant that was issued as to two charges. Based on the public defender's request, those charges will not be read. Court has found that there is probable cause for both of those charges by virtue of the arrest warrant that was issued. Court's going to give you a bond of $1,500, sir, as to both of those charges, so $3,000 in total, and you're not to have any contact with the victims in this case, sir.
Lamont Fraser.
All right, we're here on case number 2022 CF 4637. Darrell Lamont Frazier. Sir, could you state your name for the record?
Lamont Fraser, Jr.
All right, sir, we're here on a warrant for two charges that was issued, sir. Charge one is armed burglary of conveyance, and charge two is grand theft third degree of a firearm. Court's going to find that there is probable cause for both of those charges. I am going to appoint the public defender to represent you. You'll be given a bond, sir, as to count one of $10,000 and count two of $10,000 for a total bond of $20,000, sir. Thank you. Count one was 10, count two was 10. No other conditions.
Julian Graham Kennedy.
All right, sir, we're here on case number 2022 CF 5784. Just state your name again for the record, if you could, sir.
Julian Graham Kennedy.
All right, Mr. Graham Kennedy, we're here on a arrest affidavit for 5 different charges, sir. Charge one, carrying a concealed firearm. Charge two, possession of cannabis with intent to sell or deliver with a weapon. Count three, armed trespass in a conveyance. Count four, possession of cannabis in excess of 20 grams with a weapon. And charge five, possession of drug paraphernalia. Court's going to find that there is probable cause for each of those charges. I am going to appoint the public defender to represent you, sir. You'll be given a bond as follows: is to count one, $2,500, is to charge two, $15,000, is to charges 3 and 4, $150 each, as to charge 5, $100, and I'm going to order you not to have any contact with your co-defendants, Jaleel Eugene DeVarius Hull or Michael James Harris II. Thank you, sir.
Jaleel Hall.
All right, Mr. Hull, we're here on case number 2022 CF 5785. Sir, the court's taken a look at the arrest affidavit that was filed in this case. Court's going to find that there's 3 charges, sir: carrying a concealed firearm, grand theft third degree of a motor vehicle, and possession of a firearm by a convicted delinquent. Court's going to find that there is probable cause for each of those charges, sir. I am going to appoint the public defender to represent you. I can't actually appoint the public defender to represent you. My understanding is that you do not qualify.
Correct, Your Honor, because, well, we haven't made the determination yet because there has to be a conflict check, but because they are co-defendants, then we would have to conflict out as to which of the 2 co-defendants we would be based on which individual would be in the...
My understanding, based on the application for criminal indigent status that was provided and reviewed by the clerk, is that he is not indigent such that he cannot be, avail himself to the services of the public defender's office.
Oh, I apologize, Your Honor. I thought you meant because of the conflict.
No,
that
sir.
would arise.
I don't think it has anything to do with a conflict,
Oh,
based
okay.
on what I'm seeing in my file here, sir. So, sir, you're gonna have to retain private counsel to represent you. I cannot appoint the public defender to represent you. Sir, you're gonna be given a bond as follows: is to count one, $2,500; is to count one, $150; is to count three, $5,000. I'm also gonna order, sir, that you not have any contact with any of the co-defendants in this case, Julian Michael Elijah Graham Kennedy or Michael James Harris II. Sir, you also have two other pending cases. Case number 2021 CF 15659. The court's not going to take any action in that case. But in case number 2022 CF 2639, the court is going to revoke your bond in that case, sir.
On which count, sir?
Sir, this is case number 2022 CF 2639, where the charges are possession of a concealed weapon and a firearm, improper exhibition of a firearm, and unlawful discharge of a firearm. Court's going to revoke your bond in that case. Sir, coming up, could you state your name for the record for me?
Marcellus Eugene Johnson.
All right, Mr. Johnson, we're here on case number 2022 CF 5789. The court has taken a look at the arrest affidavit provided in this case on the sole charge of possession of cocaine. Court's going to find that there is probable cause for that charge. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you, sir. You'll be given a bond of $1,000, and you're not to consume any alcohol or illegal substances, sir.
I don't consume anyway.
All right, thank you, sir.
Alexis Johnston.
All right, Ms. Johnston, we're here on case number 2022 CF 5779. Court's taken a look at the arrest affidavit that's been provided in this case for the sole charge of possession of methamphetamine. Court's going to find that there is probable cause for that charge. The court's going to appoint the public defender's office to represent you. You'll be given a bond of $1,000, and you're not to consume any alcohol or illegal drugs, ma'am. Thank you.
This is yours.
Your Honor, Kimball refused.
All right.
Your Honor, we will be waiving Mr. Kimball's appearance.
I appreciate it, Mr. Barrios. We're here on case number 2022 CF 5763 regarding Louisville Harold Kimball. The court has reviewed the arrest affidavit on the sole charge of possession of opiates. Court is going to find that there is probable cause for that charge. The court is going to appoint the public defender to represent Mr. Kimball, give him a bond of $1,000. He's to have no contact with the co-defendant, Ms. Schaefer, and he's not to consume any drugs or alcohol. With regard to his other case, case number 2022 MM3315, the court takes no action.
Mark Allen King.
All right, Mr. King, good afternoon. We're here on case number 2022 CF 5759. Sir, the court's taken a look at the arrest affidavit that's been filed in this case on the sole charges of possession of drug paraphernalia and possession of lorazepam. Court is going to find that there is probable cause for both of those charges. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you, sir. You'll be given a bond as to count one, $500, count two, $1,500, and you're not to consume any drugs or alcohol, sir.
Your Honor, Kaminsky was a bond.
Oh, thank you, ma'am. So case number 2022 CF 5770 regarding Ryan Keith Komanowski. Court will take no action as he is bonded out. Could you state your name for the record, sir? All right, sir, we're here on case number 2022 CF 5783. Sir, the court's taken a look at your arrest affidavit on the sole charge of carrying a concealed firearm. Court's going to find that there is probable cause for that charge. I do find, sir, that you are permitted to qualify for direct pretrial release. Court's going to grant that today with the condition that you not possess any weapons or firearms. Thank you, sir.
Your Honor, Reed was a bond also.
Okay. Case number 2022 CF 5790 regarding Cora Denise Reed. Court takes no action as that person already bonded out.
Darrell Rutland.
All right, Mr. Rutland, we're here on case number 2022 CF 3192. I believe, sir, that we're here on an out-of-state warrant. It says it's an out-of-state warrant, but I don't believe that it is. Mr. Schmidt, can you confirm on this? It says there's an out-of-state warrant arrest, book as a fugitive from justice, but I don't have anything in here evidencing that he's a out-of-state warrant. I only have a warrant from Orange County.
It's a warrant arrest, Your Honor.
Yeah, I just want confirmation.
It's a warrant, regular warrant.
Yes, ma'am. 22 CF 3192. I have the arrest warrant. I just wanted clarification on that as the arrest warrant affidavit provided by Orange County reflects there's an out-of-state warrant. I know, I have that. I just want confirmation that there's not an out-of-state warrant.
With the state, I'm so sorry.
No, you're good.
It's Orange County.
Mr. Schmidt, or can you confirm if there's an out-of-state warrant for Mr. Rutland?
I'm checking right now. I don't know if I can see that right now, Your Honor.
Okay.
It has Orange County, Florida on the warrant, originating state. It doesn't show out of state, Your Honor.
It does not show out-of-state?
Correct.
Okay, all right, then that must just be something that was added in
Yes.
error. All right, Mr. Rutland, sir, there was a warrant issued for your arrest, sir, for 3 charges. Charge 1, the sale and delivery of cocaine. Charge 2, the sale and delivery of cocaine within 1,000 feet of a child care facility. And charge 3, conspiracy to sell or deliver cocaine. Court's going to find that there is probable cause for all of those charges based on the issuance of that arrest warrant. I am going to appoint the public defender to represent you, sir. You'll be given a bond as follows, is to count 1, $7,000, count 2, $10,000, count 5, $5,000. You are not to return to the area where the offense took place, and you're not to possess or consume any drugs. Thank you, sir.
Your Honor, Schaefer was a refusal.
Mr. Barrios?
Your Honor, the defense will be waiving their appearance.
I appreciate that, sir. Thank you. We're here on case number 2022 CF 5761, Shauna Lee Schaefer. The court has reviewed the arrest affidavit as to the sole charge of the possession of opiates. The court is going to find that there is probable cause for that charge. The court will appoint the public defender to represent Ms. Schaefer, give her a bond of $1,000. She's not to consume any drugs or alcohol, and she's not to have any contact with Mr. Kimball.
Tanae Sakari Scott.
All right, Ms. Scott, we're here on case number 2022 CF 5800. The court has reviewed the arrest affidavit that's been provided in this case as to the sole charge of grand theft, 3rd degree of a motor vehicle. Court finds that there is probable cause for that charge. Court's going to appoint the public defender to represent you, give you a bond of $2,500, ma'am.
Alan Wayne Slider.
All right, Mr. Slider, we're here on case number 2022 CF 5791. Court's taken a look at the arrest affidavit in this case, sir, on the sole charge of fraud or the impersonation by use or possession of the identification of another person without their consent. Court's going to find that there is probable cause for that charge. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you and give you a bond of $1,000, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Your Honor,
Yes, ma'am.
Souza was a bond.
Okay. Regarding case number 2022 CF 5787, Jose Antonio Souza, court will take no action as Mr. Souza bonded out.
Timothy Paul Taylor.
I'm sorry, sir, can you say that again?
Timothy Paul Taylor.
All right, Mr. Taylor, we're here on case number 2022 CF 1298 on your failure to appear. Court finds that there was a capias issued for your failure to appear. Court is going to find that there is probable cause. appoint the public defender to represent you to the extent that they are not already do so, and doing so, and stay the bond at $1,000, sir, in this case.
Your Honor, okay.
Does he have a second note?
Yes, he also has possession of meth,
Okay.
2022.
That's what I thought. Sir, we're also here on case number 2022 CF 5782 on the sole charge of possession of methamphetamine. Court's going to find that there is probable cause for that charge based on the court's review of the arrest affidavit. Court's going to appoint the public defender to represent you, give you a bond of $1,000 in order that you not consume any alcohol or drugs, sir.
1,000 for the first, 1,000 for the second.
No. It was the first case, Mr. Schmidt, case number 2022 CF 1298, where it was a failure to appear. The bond will be stated 0 for both of those.
0.
As to his second case, case number 2022 CF 5782, the possession of methamphetamine will be a bond of $1,000 and no consumption of drugs or alcohol.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, the both was a refusal.
Mr. Barrios?
The defense waives the appearance, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. We're here on case number 2022 MM210 regarding Octavius Dubose. The court has reviewed the arrest affidavit in this case and finds that there is probable cause on the sole charge of trespassing, failure to leave the property upon order of owner. The court is going to appoint the public defender to represent Mr. Dubose, give him a bond of $500, in order that he not return to the Forest Avenue apartments located at 231 Forest Avenue in Apopka, Florida. As to his other case, case number 2021 CF 14234, the court is not going to take any action.
I apologize, Your Honor. I had a different case in my hand. Mr. Wesley, can you repeat the Dubose conditions?
Yes, sir. The Dubose conditions were $500, a $500 bond. He's not to return to the Forest Avenue apartments located at 231 Forest Avenue in Apopka, Florida. And the court is not going to take any action on his other case, 2021 CF 14234.
Thank you very much. And do we address Wesley? Jason Wesley?
Yeah, we
Oh, he was Osceola. I want to say it was 10,000 and 10,000, but don't quote me on that.
It was, what's I had here? It was 10,000, 2,000.
Okay.
For Jason Wesley.
That was Osceola, you said?
He was
Yes.
in Osceola for an Orange County warrant.
Okay.
Sir, come on up and state your full name for me.
Michael James Harris.
All right, Mr. Harris, we're here on case number 2022, MM3370, sir, on two charges, resisting officer without violence and trespass in an occupied conveyance. The court is going to find that there is probable cause for both of those charges upon the court's review of the arrest affidavit. The court is going to appoint the public defender to represent you, sir. You'll be given a bond in the amount of $500 is to count one, $100 is to count two. And sir, you are not to have any contact or communication with the co-defendants, Jaleel Eugene DeVarius Hull or Julian Michael Elijah Graham Kennedy. Sir, with regard to your other case, case number 2021 CF 8915, court's not going to take any action.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
That's it.
That's it? Sir, could you state your full name for the record for me?
Jesus Marquez.
All right, Mr. Marquez, we're here on case number 2022 MM211. Court's taking a look at the arrest affidavit on the sole charge of trespass on property after warning. Court's going to find that there is probable cause for that charge, sir. Court's going to appoint the public defender to represent you, give you a bond of $500, and you are not to return to the Circle K located at 5051 Edgewater Drive. Sir, as to your other case, case number 2022 CF 1227, the court's not going to take any action in that case, sir. Ma'am, could you state your name for the record for me?
Samari Tamika Lawana Thomas.
All right, Ms. Thomas, we're here in case number 2022 MM3349. Court's taking a look at the arrest affidavit was provided in this case on two charges, First charge is battery. Second charge is resisting an officer without violence. Court's going to find that there is probable cause as to both of those charges. Court's going to appoint the public defender to represent you, give you a bond of $500 as to count one, $500 as to count two. You're not to return to the scene of 4917 Lynette Street, and you're to have no contact with the victims in this case, ma'am. Sir, could you state your name for the record for me?
George Carl Watson, the fourth.
All right, Mr. Watson, we're here in case number 2022MM275. Court's taking a look at the arrest affidavit as to the sole charge of petty theft, second degree. Court's going to find that there is probable cause for that charge. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you, sir. You'll be released on direct pretrial release, and you are not permitted to return to the Walmart located at 10500 West Colonial Drive in Ocoee, Florida.
Regina Evangelina Williams.
Wait a minute, hang on. Bring Mr. Watson back. He's got a second one. Sir, we're also here. Could you just state your name again for the record, if you could, sir?
George Carl Watson, the fourth.
All right, Mr. Watson, we're also here on case number 2022MM274. Court's taking a look at the arrest affidavit. It's another charge of petty theft, second degree, and it's your first offense. Court's going to find that there is probable cause for that charge. Court's going to appoint the public defender to represent you. You'll be released by direct pretrial release, and you are not to return to the Walmart located at 10500 West Colonial Drive in Ocoee, Florida, sir.
Yes, sir.
Regina Evangelina Williams.
All right, Ms. Williams, we're here in case number 2022MM3371. Court's taking a look at the arrest affidavit that's been filed in this case on the sole charge of resisting officer without violence. Court's going to find that there is probable cause for that charge. Court's going to appoint the public defender to represent you, ma'am, and you'll be given a bond of $500 in this case.
Okay, and once I pay that bond, that's it?
Mr. Barrios can answer that question for you, ma'am.
Michael Joseph Galini Jackson.
All right, Mr. Jackson, we're here on an out-of-county warrant from Seminole County. Seminole County case is 22949 MMA. Court's going to find that there is probable cause by result of the issuance of that warrant, sir. Because Seminole County is a contiguous county to Orange County, they have 24 hours to come and pick you up, not including the weekend, sir. So if you're not collected by Seminole County by Monday, you'll be brought before another judge on Tuesday, okay?
Okay.
All right, the court will provisionally appoint the public defender until that transfer takes place. Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, he's also out on bond on case 2022 CF 144980 for burglary of conveyance.
Court's not gonna take any action on that.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, ma'am.
Your Honor, they told me that I would be able to bond out of here, but there was a hold due to I guess maybe a prior case that I had that actually got thrown out yesterday.
Sir, your other case, your case number 2022 CF 1449, where there was a bond of $3,500. I took no action on that case, sir. With regard, and that's one that's pending here in Orange County. Sir, with regard to the Seminole County case, no bond was, no, there was a bond. I'm sorry. You had a bond of $500 is to count one, and $1,000 is to count two.
My lawyers should have paid that already, but they said there was a hold due to a pretrial release that I had. It was a Martha Adams case back in 2019. It was a DUI, which actually got handled yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah, Your Honor, I had a question on this out of county also.
Mhm.
So actually, it was explained to me that it's one bond for both of the counties. It's just a $500 bond. I think the way they worded it on the warrant, because I was kind of confused about it. On the teletype, it stated that.
Yeah, it says will extradite
Yes.
cash level bond, $500, charge criminal mischief, $200 to $1,000.
Right, so they're just saying, I think that criminal mischief was over 200, but under 1,000. This was kind of,
Then there's a battery here as well,
yeah.
and I don't have,
In the system, it just has one bond for 500.
Yes, that's what they told me.
It's just for $500.
all right, the court will have the bond at $500, sir. If it can't be paid, you'll be transferred Tuesday.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Also,
sir.
one more question.
Yes, sir.
Is there any holds whatsoever? Because I know there was 3 when I checked yesterday. They tried to bond me out yesterday.
It's just a notification for Seminole County. That's
Okay,
all it is.
but I could be
That is
bonded
the
out
same.
with that?
Yes.
Okay, all right, thank you very much.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
Jason Rutland.
Mr. Realford, we're here on Seminole County Warrant, case number 212492, an out-of-county warrant for violation of probation. Sir, court's going to find that there is probable cause based on the issuance of that warrant. I'm going to provisionally appoint the public defender to represent you. Because Seminole County is a contiguous county, they have 24 hours to come and collect you, not including the weekend. If you're not picked up by Monday, sir, you'll be brought before another judge. The bond will be stayed at 0 as it is a violation of probation.
Michael Cecil Sadler.
All right, Mr. Sadler, we're here on case number, Clay County, case number 22AF014511, on a Clay County warrant, sir. Court's gonna find that there is probable cause, for the charges identified in that warrant. I'm gonna provisionally appoint the public defender to represent you. Sir, because Clay County is not a contiguous county, they have 48 hours to come and collect you, if, not including the weekends. So come Tuesday, if you're not picked up, you'll be brought before another judge, or you can pay the bond in this case, sir, of $50,000, $50,003.
Your Honor, he does have a 5-day VFOSC, violent felony of special concern hold from DOC. So that hold will be in place for 5 days. I
Okay.
believe the release date is May 27th.
All right, then you've been advised, sir, the release date as earliest can be is May 27th. Thank you, sir.
Murphy Scott Ulrich.
All right, Mr. Aldridge, we're here on case number 21 CF4490. There was for a violation of probation. Court's going to find that there is probable cause for that violation. Court's going to appoint the public defender to represent you, sir, and the bond will be stayed at 0.
Your Honor, Cora Santiago refused.
Your Honor, the defense waives her appearance.
Appreciate it, sir. Thank you. We're on case number 2021 CF2478, Flor Ramon Cora Santiago. The court's taken a look at the arrest affidavit filed in this case as a violation of community control. Court's going to find that there is probable cause for that charge. Appoint the public defender to represent Ms. Cora Santiago and give her a bond of $5,000. As to the second matter before the court regarding Ms. Cora Santiago, case number 2021 CF7701. It's also a violation of community control. Court finds that there is probable cause for that violation. Appoints the public defender to represent Ms. Cora Santiago, gives her a bond of $7,500.
And Your Honor, I just want to put on record that Mr. Cora Santiago has reporting requirements. So once he gets released, he has to report his address.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Judge.
Who's present, Your Honor?
Nehemiah Evans Street.
All right, Mr. Street, we're here on 2 matters, sir. The first is case number 2020 8254. Sir, there was an affidavit for a violation of probation. Court's going to find that there is probable cause for that charge. Court's going to appoint the public defender to represent you, sir, and stay the bond at 0 in that case. With regard to your second case, sir, case number 2022 CF 5771, court's taking a look at the arrest affidavit on the sole charge of possession of cannabis greater than 20 grams. Court's going to find that there is probable cause for that charge. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. You'll be given a bond of $1,000. You're not to return to the scene of the offense, and you are not to have any consumption of any drugs or alcohol, sir. All right, thank you very much.
Sir, I just want to ask a quick question.
Talk to him, sir.
You have a 5-day hold also. You have a 5-day hold for probation. So you have to give them 5 days at least, yes. For that release. Well, it's not that quick for them to release the hold. Then you have to go before another judge for the bond.
Anything further? All right, very good. Thank you all very much. We're off the record.
Yes, Your Honor.
Bond court is a free service, but it takes several hours of my time every day. Less than 10% of Bond court viewers hit the like button, and less than 1% leave a comment. If you want Bond court to continue to be available on YouTube for free, then please hit the like button and leave a comment on all of my videos.